So the first thing I hate about being back to school is waiting at the pickup. So I had totally forgotten how much I hate the school run traffic, because it's just chaos. Kids everywhere, mums everywhere, dads everywhere, and all needing to get somewhere all at once. Hi guys, it's Veronica here from Aussies Do. I bring you a new video every week with homeschool ideas, farm life, curriculum reviews, homeschool hauls, just to name a few. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. So hey guys, I was homeschooling for quite a while and loved it, and the kids loved it, but lo and behold, they both decided to go back to school this year for year 7 and try out mainstream school, yeah, I said that right. And it's been like a whirlwind of emotions, both the children and myself, and also of activity. And I just wanted to give you an update of whether it was worth it and it was the right decision to make going back to school. So at this point in time, I'm actually on the way to pick up Sienna from her school. So both my children go to 2 separate schools, and I know there's a lot of you out there that are saying, why do you do that? Well, I have 2 very different children with needs that they need met, and one school just didn't fit both of them, so they've both gone to different schools, and yeah, that's hard. That is hard. I won't put that in any other basket but the hard basket. So a typical day, no, there is no typical day. What am I saying? So both kids have a little bit of difference between their drop-off and their pick-up times, which helps a lot. But there's still a little bit of waiting for at least Hunter in the afternoon. I pick up Sienna first, and then I go and pick up Hunter, and then we either go home or we do extracurricular activities, and I feel like we are always on the go. Now year 7, obviously they've got more homework coming in, but I'll talk about that later as well. Now, when you get into high school level in Australia, at least high school level mainstream school, there's a lot of after school sporting sort of stuff, and they take it quite seriously, especially in private schools. So Sienna and Hunter both do what they call Sienna's is called APS Sports, and Hunter is called, I think, GPS or something like that. Basically it's the same thing. It's when they practice sports and then they also compete against other schools. So one day a week they're practicing after school, and another day a week during school hours they're actually competing with another school. We've had to make quite a few changes to their schedule since going back to school, just to fit in with some of the stuff they have to do. So with Sienna, let's start with her. Because she's doing this APS, she does soccer, and on a Tuesday they tend to stay at school a little bit longer to practice soccer. So what she was doing on a Tuesday afternoon was doing drumming, and now she can no longer do drumming on a Tuesday afternoon, so we've had to move that around as well. Hunter was doing drumming on a Friday, which now is the day that he does debating. So he gets to do it sometimes because debating's not every week, but it's been really disjointed sort of term, because we're sort of getting used to having a lot of school stuff, and debating is one of those things that he's doing. So that takes away from his drumming on a Friday, which is hard because we're trying to do grade 5 drumming this year. So he needs a lot of practice, as it's quite considerably harder than grade 4 was. And I have continued to have both of the kids get a tutor lesson each week. So that's on a Wednesday afternoon, and they both have some tutors come along for them from A-Team Tutoring, I think it's called, I don't know, to help them with their now schoolwork. They used to help them with their homeschool work, and now they help them with their mainstream schoolwork. So that's 3 times fast, Veronica. Now, one of the big questions I had, or one of the misconceptions I had about my children going back to school, was that I was going to get a lot more time. How wrong I was. Yeah, I suppose I get a lot more time during the day. I get maybe 11, 12, probably 5 hours a day if I don't have to stop on the way home. I'll get 5 hours a day to do work. So yes, I never used to get that. So that is one really good thing. But far out, I do a lot more running around than I ever did. A lot more running around. So some days I'm picking Sienna up after school. I'm then going to pick up Hunter after school. I'm then coming back to put Sienna in some extracurricular activity, then going and taking Hunter to one of his activities, then coming home. It is literally a whirlwind of activity on that school drop-off and school pick-up times to the afternoon, evening kind of thing. I'm really busy. So I feel like a mum taxi, has probably a lot of mums do. And my biggest worry, I suppose, is that my kids are not going to get all of their homework done, because they have a lot more homework, or at least they're supposed to. And we do so many things that by the time we get home and I'm cooking dinner, or they're getting organised and getting everything packed and having showers and all of that, I feel like there's no time for homework. And I really hate homework. I know some people think it's a necessary thing to do, and it's supposed to cement all that knowledge that you've had and everything you've learnt. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I would prefer the school day to be a bit longer than have homework. That's my opinion. I know that some people are going to think differently, but that's my opinion. I don't like it. And especially with all these extracurricular stuff that they're supposed to do as well, and they encourage the kids to do, then I don't know when you're supposed to find the time to actually do any kind of homework. So my kids also, I have been holding back from getting my kids phones because I just didn't think they needed them. And I see these kids on these phones all the time, texting their parents and texting each other, and I didn't get it. And I have finally succumbed and got my children some phones, only because really they're both at separate schools, and there's been 3 times in the last 2 weeks, today being one of them, that it's pouring with rain most of the day and the APS sports has been cancelled. So I didn't know this. Sienna has texted me today. I was caught out a few times before this when things have happened. I haven't been able to contact them. Either they've been late or I've been late, and we're both freaking out because I also have to go and pick up Hunter as well. So I succumbed and got them phones, and I must admit, it's working well. Now, on a personal note, let's talk about Sienna. How is Sienna coping with Year 7? How is she coping with her new school? Well, I have to admit, it has not been smooth sailing for Sienna. She started, as you know, the last term of last year, so that she would transition easier. And to me, it was probably a great idea for any other child, but it's not really working for Sienna. Yes, she's made a friend, so that's great. She's not completely lonely, but she hasn't made as many friends as she used to have when she was at school, when she was younger. And I think this is affecting her a little bit, because for her, I think going back to school, a lot of it had to do with that social aspect. She's quite social and likes to be around people and have lots of different friends, and she's not achieving that, and I think that's really affecting her emotionally. As for the work, I've noticed, because we were homeschooled for so long, we were not in that sort of rat race of work. And going back into mainstream school, especially private school, and especially in Year 7, there's a lot more to the workload. Everything is done digitally now. They don't even have diaries at her school, so they get their homework and email the teacher and all this sort of thing through a platform on the school website. And for someone who has never done that before and is not used to it, it's been quite hard for me and her. And I really have to sort of help her try and find even what she's supposed to do for homework, because they don't just say, hey, you've got this for homework tonight, like they did back in my day, which is a lot easier. You got a diary, you write down what, you know, you've got to do question 6 to 12 tonight. Much easier, guys. Now you have to look on 2 different platforms just to discover what your homework is. I mean, come on. For me, this is just crazy. You spend most of your time trying to find what you're supposed to do, and then you have to then do what you're supposed to do. So for me, I don't like it, but this is the new day and age, and it's not helping. Sienna doesn't like it, and she's missing things, and then she gets into trouble for missing things. But that's something I have to help her with, and she's not. And the very first time since she went back to school this morning, she said, I don't want to go to school. So that makes me sad, and I'm worried about that, and I'm not sure what to do about that yet. So I'm going to let it play out a little bit, and I've told her that she needs to give it a good chance, because things take time. They take time even, you know, as an adult to get used to things. So I'm aware that this may get better. So I'm not going to give up yet, and I'm sort of hoping that she doesn't give up yet either. So I just had a quick break because I picked Sienna up and I took her home, and now she's doing homework while I go and pick up her brother, because he had esports. So Hunter has esports as well on a Tuesday, and then he does a sort of gifted and talented program on a Thursday afternoon. So they're his 2 sort of more lengthy days at school. Now, as for Hunter's state of mind or emotional state, or how he's going at school, so far he has surprised me the most. So I thought Sienna was going to find it really easy, and she's not. Hunter, on the other hand, is just reveling in it. He's got so many things he's doing and he's a part of, and he's loving it. He's made a couple of really nice friends that he's enjoying their time. He loves all the things. He came home the other day and he said, I have a new favorite teacher, and that teacher is his extension math teacher. So go figure, my little nerdy boy, I love him. His favorite teacher is his math teacher. And also he loves his drama teacher, who is also the head of the gifted and talented program, and his English teacher, who also runs the debating club, which he loves doing debating as well. And that's all new. But when I told him there was a debating club there, he almost had a fit, because he said, oh, anywhere that I can go and enjoy having arguments with people, Mum, that is awesome. So he's found his little niche, and he's enjoying that a lot. So, and he's learning a lot from it as well. So really, Hunter is diving in 100%, and in so far he's really enjoying it. So far Hunter's doing really well, and I'm really happy for him, and I'm happy that he's happy. And Sienna, we're getting there, you know. It may take a little while, but we're getting there. So for me, it is now organisation for next year. I'm still look, I'm aware that time is clicking away, and before we know it, we will be in America. All things going well with this whole new coronavirus thing going on. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. Probably it doesn't look very good for that, but hopefully, look, I'm just going to go positive and then deal with anything that happens. I'm very adaptable, so if things do go right, I just move things date-wise, and we're still going to do it. It may just need to be changed a little bit, but at this point in time, I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm just going to forge forward like it's happening. So what do I like the most about my kids going back to school? Well, I think for me, yes, definitely having those 5 hours to myself again. That's that's pretty cool. Albeit that I do miss them a little bit because I had them at home with me for so long. But it is nice to have time to get your work done and not have to sort of put it off and forget things all the time. So that I'm getting a lot more organized since I went back to school in my work. So that's a great thing. What do I not like about it? Oh my gosh, the amount of time I sit in a car just taxiing. I definitely do not like that. I do not like that. And I suppose homework to a certain degree, albeit I don't have to do it. I just have to facilitate it. So yeah, they're the two things I don't really like about being back at school, or my kids being back at school. I've been there and done that. And yeah, definitely having that time to myself, and I suppose seeing Hunter so excited and so happy to be in his environment. And I suppose I'm a little bit worried at this point for Sienna. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that she's going to find her place soon. So, that's my catch up. If there's anything that you would like to know about quitting homeschool and going back to school, please drop a line, hit that comment down below, pop those questions up. Or if you have recently gone back to school from being homeschooled, what are some of the things that you're liking or disliking? You know, share that out there, share that information. People are interested. Was it worth it? At this point, yes. Definitely. It's been worth it. I'll tell you again by the end of this term, and maybe mid-year as well. I'll let you know how it's going, especially for Sienna, and making sure Hunter's still on track and having fun as well. I am getting some parent-teacher interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks, so that should be interesting. I'm sure I'll have a lot more to say after that. It has been 2 parent-teacher interviews in the past that made me want to start homeschooling, so they're always interesting from my point of view. And I cannot wait to go to these parent-teacher interviews to see what is really going on, because my kids cannot tell me some stuff sometimes, and I'm sure they keep things from me. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll give you a heads up when I find out what's going on, and let you know how those parent-teacher interviews went. So that's my episode for today. Next week I will bring you another episode, but in